Hello, my name is Danica, and this is Lamont Manhattan Preparatory School, 5th grade 5A. And we agree that most of the poverty in the first world was caused by poor personal decision making. We agree with the resolution that resolved that most of the poverty in the first world was caused by poor personal decision making. We define poverty as living under the poverty line and not always being able to provide for you and your family. Because of lackage of resources and money, we define a personal decision as a decision made by yourself or about yourself only. Therefore, we believe most poverty in the first world is caused by poor personal decision making.
One of the main causes of poverty is bad financial decisions. As NPR states, more impoverished people live near liquor stores and food markets. They waste most of their money on liquor and fall into poverty due to lack of money. This is an example of poor personal decision making, because they are spending more money on what they want versus what they need. People need food and water to live, but liquor actually decreases their health. They can still get food, but it will take much longer, further to walk, and they might not have enough money. Therefore, what causes poverty is poor financial system.
Choosing belief stereotypes is one of the factors that cause poverty. NPR said entrenched problems of racism and economic deprivation have it to be self-destructive. If people believe stereotypes, they might have a problem with if their boss is white, for example. A man in Florida wanted to get a job but didn't because the men who worked there were white. This man was African American and thought all white people were racists. This is wrong because this man still lives in a shelter just because of stereotype. This is from the source is Poverty in the USA.
Impoverished people don't balance their needs versus wants. This is one of the main causes of poverty. As Poverty Facts and Figures states, every 8 seconds a student drops out of high school. This is because they don't want to go to school, but they need their education. They are not balancing their needs versus wants, because they are thinking about the present, not the future, and what no education could cause poverty. Therefore, one of the main causes of poverty is not balancing their needs versus wants.
We agree that most poverty in the first world is caused by poor personal decision making. Because people do not make well thought out financial decisions, people choose to believe in stereotypes, and people choose wants over needs. Therefore, we agree with a resolution that resolves that most poverty in the first world is caused by poor personal decision making.
We're ready for their cross-examination.
And we're ready for the cross-examination.
Good job, guys.
We're going to ask questions.
So, Nolan, this is you.
Okay, you got it together? Stand up. Introduce yourselves, first and last name. All right, my name is.
Hi, my name is Shanti Ramakrishna. Hi, my name is Shanti Ramakrishna.
My name is Griffin Hilgenfeld.
And we have questions about what you said. My first question is, what if the impoverished person's parents made bad financial decisions and the people that are impoverished learned from them to make bad financial decisions?
You said it.
Are you giving us one question at a time?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it'll be best if we just pose one question at a time.
Okay. You got something answer. Who's number one? You. So take the microphone, go stand in the middle. Tell them your name, Nolan.
Hi, I'm Nolan, and one example for people that do not make well thought out financial decisions is a high school graduate named Victoria Bushby, was a computer designer and a part-time nurse, quit her job to care for her 2 kids. She had to use food stamps to help as her assistants. People also do not make well thought out financial decisions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If people drop out of school, usually they're forced to because of personal problems, like a sick relative or something. You said people drop out of school for some reason.
What is your question?
What's the question?
Like why did you state that people drop out of school for no reason? I mean, they're usually forced to.
Okay, so we don't want to support them. We need to say why people drop out of school for no reason. 2 minutes. We don't want to support them. Read it.
Hi, my name is Zara, and choosing to drop out is thinking about the present, not the future. For example, every 8 seconds a high school student drops out, and I got it from Children's Defense Fund.
Do you have any additional questions?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Hester. And I'm Ellie Stricker. Results. We do not believe that poor decision making puts people in poverty in first world nations. When employees lose their job, they lose their income, which limits their ability to pay their house mortgage. If they can't pay their house mortgage, they will lose their house over time. During the housing boom, people were approved for loans from banks and other lending institutions. But these people were considered to be risky, having lower credit scores, and the majority of those loans were written with balloon payments, meaning that the interest would increase after a specific time period. This made their affordable payment unaffordable overnight, and many did not realize how much their payment would increase once new interest took place. This was the start of people getting behind paying their mortgages, only being able to pay part of the payment and not the full amount. Then some of these people lost their jobs in late 2008, and that didn't help matters. Once people are behind in their mortgage, struggling to make their payments, banks would see if they could refinance these people, but many of them did not qualify for lower rates, and the banks then began foreclosure paperwork on them, forcing them out of their homes so the bank could resell the house to people who can afford it. These actions put people into poverty because they were approved for home loans that they did not fully qualify for by the banks. Many of them had jobs and then lost them having no job to earn money to make these payments that are well over $1,000 per month and eventually no house to live in. Also, it would be a lot harder for these people to get another job because of all the stress they are under. They could come to work hungry, tired, possibly untidy, and depressed, focused on their personal problems that seem to be so large and out of their control that they will not always be able to focus on their work. This is not what the boss would like to see in their employee, and once again they may lose their job. At times it's not the personal decision a person makes that puts them into poverty. At times it is one catastrophic event that impacts their lives that seems to cause everything to spiral out of control. Does this mean that they and their families will be impoverished from this point forward?
Did you know that the unemployment rate has gotten much higher? According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor, in 2002, only 5.7% of the U.S. was unemployed. In 2008, 7.3% of the U.S. was unemployed, so it steadily got worse. But then the data clearly shows that in the fall of 2008, once the stock market crashed, the number of unemployed jumped to 9.9% in the U.S. As of February 2012, today's unemployment is measured at 8.3%. It has gotten better since 2009, but not by much. These people became unemployed because some of them lost their jobs because of the stock market crashing, forcing companies to downsize and widespread government budgets cut. A person does not always have control of the decisions that are made that that will impact their lives and their families' lives. Sometimes those decisions are made by the chief executive officer of their company, the chief financial officer of their company, or even an elected official in the city, county, state, or country who makes that poor decision. It is not that other person's poor choice, which ultimately impacts the population and other people's families. In this case, people were busy at work providing for their families and doing well, and their employers downsized and government jobs were no longer receiving funds and lost their jobs, left with the job market with too few jobs to meet the number of people who needed employment. This is not those people's fault that they are employed and now impoverished.
With the increase in unemployment, the number of working poor continues to increase, and according to the economic clocks, nearly 1 out of every 3 families in the United States is considered to be low income. Today, millions of American families are finding that they can barely make it financially from month to month, even with both parents working as hard as they possibly can. Unfortunately, research studies show that things are only going to get worse, and that average American families are going to be financially stressed even more in the months and years to come. Economic Clocks published in 2009 there were more than 10 million low-income working families in the United States, an increase of nearly 250,000 from the previous year. The families that seem to be more challenged paying their bills are those who have many kids. Unfortunately, some families have no choice but to move in with other family members to try to make ends meet so they can pay their expenses. While others have had to make the difficult choice to place their children in the homes with other family members who can care for them until they are able to provide for them once again. For those who are employed in jobs with a minimum wage and have limited job skills, they are limited with the amount of income they can make. It's hard for them to advance to a better job to learn a new set of job skills. They need to attend either trade school or college. And this will not only be an extra expense, but also take time, something they may not be able to do. What if people have to work 2 jobs to just make ends meet, trying to do the right thing? What about their children? This is not okay. And it's not people's fault that they're in this position. They work so hard, but it still isn't good enough to get out of poverty.
Because so many people are impoverished, we need to increase the charity services offered because not everyone is being helped. There's a higher demand for assistance than usual, with so many people needing help now. Charities have worked hard to help these people, but so many people are now in need of these charities, finding they are struggling to meet the new demands because it costs so much to help so many people. And those who were once donating no longer have the means or are now in need of assistance. People who are impoverished tend to live with short-term goals that may be set daily. The goal of having enough food to eat, a safe, warm, or air conditioning place to sleep, staying healthy, and being able to find work. We do not believe that the majority of these people choose to live in poverty, and those who are parents most certainly do not choose to raise their children in this type of stressful environment. Most of these people have strong work ethics, who are doing the right thing, who work so hard, and then all of a sudden find themselves without a job. They weren't the ones who let this happen. We need to help these people. But the question is, how can we help all of these people? President Lyndon Baines Johnson said, if the government is to serve any purpose, it is to do for others what they are unable to do for themselves. If these numbers keep increasing, someday we might only be able to help a fraction of these people. It's not their fault that they are in this position. The charities are unable to meet help those who are suffering. Our government is going to have to step up and find the funding to help them get back on their feet. And it's not people's fault they are impoverished. This winter has been unpredictable when it comes to weather. As we have seen, several states have become victims of horrible tornadoes that destroy numerous communities. Living in Florida, we know all too well how natural disasters can be another factor that people have no control over that can cause them to become impoverished. People who have been victims of these natural disasters realize how the destruction costs people financially to make their repairs at times. Damage can temporarily or permanently close their jobs down. Those who live paycheck to paycheck may not be able to afford renters and homeowners insurance for a storm that may never come. Unfortunately, if it does and they have damage, they'll have to pay for the repairs and may not be able to get insurance in the future. It's not people's fault that they are forced into poverty because of a natural disaster, especially since they have no control over the weather. Thank you.
The first one is, where did you get the sources from?
Where do you get the sources from for this?
The U.S. Bureau of Labor. And economic clubs.
Hi, I'm Logan. Parents make good
choices, but they do not have resources to overcome poverty. If parents make good choices, why do they let their kids drop out of school? Furthermore, if poor people were less lazy and made an attempt to find work, isn't it true that they would have better resources to work with?
They drop out of school because their parents might need them help work, and they might need them help take care of like kids or help around the house, or to get a job.
I think you guys are missing the other part of the question.
Wait, can you repeat it?
If parents make good choices, why do they let their kids drop out of school? Furthermore, if poor people were less lazy and made an attempt to find work, isn't it true that they would have more resources to work with?
Again, ask you to repeat it.
Can you repeat it, please?
If parents make good choices, why do they let their kids drop out of school? Furthermore, if poor people were less lazy and made an attempt to find work, isn't it true that they would have better resources to work with?
What types of resources?
Resources that can get them out of poverty.
Can you repeat that, please?
No, just read the second part of it.
Furthermore, if poor people were less lazy and made an attempt to find work, isn't it true that they would have better resources to work with?
Resources.
Okay. Zara, explain to them what a resource is.
Resources are money and education, all those things that you need to be successful.
Okay, it's hard for them to find a job. Like they will not, in generational poverty, like their parents start out with no money, so therefore they cannot get education and study to get a job.
But if you were in school longer, wouldn't you have a chance to make more money?
Yes, but they have to have the opportunity to help their parents, or else they will not have them.
But if you go to school, wouldn't you make money?
Well, they have to work to keep their family together.
Long term, you make more money if you go to college.
Are you coming up with an answer?
What is the question?
If parents make good choices, if you stay in college, wouldn't you make more money?
Sit behind, don't pay attention to me. I'm going to answer this, just repeat it. There's a reason of generational poverty.
It's not their fault because they get stuck in an endless line, and because when their parents are poor, they can't afford to send their kids to get an education, and then they can't study to get a job.
Thank you. And we have one more question.
Okay.
You said people living, my name's Zara. And you said people living in poverty earn low wages and having little money to manage. Why don't people in poverty just go and get help from the government services for free while they work?
They do. Such as like, they get food stamps.
Can you please repeat your answer?
Some people find themselves trapped in the situation of poverty because they got laid off the education to find a better job.
Okay, tell them thank you. We're done. Say thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're just another second, and we'll have our affirmative rebuttal, okay?
Can you focus your camera on your end? You guys are very blurry.
This is actually coming off of my laptop,
Okay. All right.
so I have a way of focusing it. I'm sorry.
It's just because of the Skype connection, because you guys are out of focus as well.
Okay, yeah. Somebody was just asking that question.
All right, no, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think they need like 1 more minute on their rebuttal speech.
Sure.
No worries.
Wait for Matt. Just tell them we're waiting for that one more person.
We're waiting on one more person.
Hi, my name is Noah. We disagree with your statements. Your statements were, people weren't being able to pay their mortgages, so they were losing their house, and the poorest people have a government that is causing them to remain in poverty. And this is what we believe.
You said many people are born into poverty because they have no money or no choice. But we believe that they are in poverty because their parents or families or decisions brought their family into poverty. You said some states bring about poverty, such as depression, addiction, mental illnesses, and stress. These impair a person's ability to make good choices. But we believe when poor people make the bad decisions to get involved with drugs or alcohol, it turns a cycle where they're put into a cycle of bad decisions.
People in the United States have the right to go to school for free. Education can get poor people out of poverty. If poor people made more of an effort to work hard and stay in school, they won't need these government programs.
There's an incentive to remain in poverty and accept welfare. You said that impoverished communities are taken advantage of by predatory vending and advertising. But we believe that poor people follow advertising and buy things that they can't afford, according to them. That's according to them. therefore, we still agree that most of the poverty in the first world is caused by poor personal decision making. And now we are ready for the negative rebuttal.
Resolved. We do not feel that poor decision-making puts people in poverty. Not as many jobs may be available due to undocumented workers securing jobs in our country. If people don't find work or find work for minimal pay, then they will struggle with paying the bills. They may have a disability, which limits their mobility of thinking, which will also limit their job opportunities. They may also have a disability because of a genetic defect that they were born with, which is costly. They could be victims of generational poverty or were born into the environment. They could have had more children than they can support. It is not their fault they are in poverty. Sometimes people go to college to get specialized jobs, like space shuttle workers. They lose their job if the government decides to stop funding them. When people lose their specialized jobs, they will need to find a new one. Normally, they can only find a place where they work for low pay. In the year of 2011, NASA, the only shuttle program in America, started laying off workers. These people did not choose to be laid off, but were due to the budget cuts. It is expected that 9,000 workers will be fired, and the majority of the people working on the project right now are repairing the ships to be sent off to different museums. Once they are fired, they have to find jobs that match their skills, which is really hard. If they cannot find a job that matches their skills, they'll have to gain new skills, which will take time, money, and education. If they can't find a comparable job, they may become impoverished or have to settle for a lower pay job. The amount of government aid available can only support a certain amount of people in poverty. At the rate the population is growing, the government aid won't be able to assist everyone, which means that the government can't help the growing amount of people in poverty. The government aid isn't designed to help the number of people in poverty long term because it is so expensive. Sometimes people in poverty have health issues that are also very expensive. This is one reason why the government aid can't help everyone. According to the Baptist Standard in the article, The Poor Among You, 5 federal programs, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, Temporary Assistance for the Needy, Family Earned Income Tax, Credit Supplement Security Income for the Disabled, and Medicaid cost about $485 million in 2010. Nearly 15% of all Americans, a record 45.7 million people, now participate in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly known as food stamps. Cutting the amount of money dedicated to the programs that help the hungry and poor to make ends meet would not make as big as a difference to the budget as it would to the lives of low-income families. As you can see, it is not anyone's fault that they are in poverty. No parent chooses to raise their child in poverty. People don't have control over whether they are going to be fired or not. Everyone I know would never choose to be impoverished. No one wakes up and says, I want to be in poverty. It is never anyone's fault that they are impoverished. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Justin.
We agree with the resolution that resolves that most of the poverty in the first world is caused by poor personal decision making. One of the worst personal decisions that one can make in poverty is to balance needs versus wants and financial decisions. Another cause of poverty is stereotypes. Therefore, we believe that most poverty in the first world is caused by poor personal decision making.
People choose wants versus needs. This one can be possible.
Matthew, speak up.
As NPR states, more people buy things that they want, such as liquor, cigarettes, and drugs, instead of food, water, and resources they need. Also, if you're impoverished or about to be, you need to save a little money. So why buy what you want, just what you need? The second reason is not spending money wisely. And the third reason is that people listen to stereotypes.
Matthew, you read all your
We
cards?
must because our position is superior, that most of the poverty in the first world is caused by poor personal decisions, such as not balancing needs versus wants, not managing money wisely, and listening to stereotypes.
You read all your cards?
In conclusion, we agree with the resolution that resolves that most of poverty in the first world is caused by poor personal decisions, such as not balancing needs versus wants, not managing money wisely, and choosing to listen to and follow stereotypes. Thank you for listening.